as you are so well informed about all the matter we are speaking about, I will just try to put a spot on some aspect of the reality, and maybe not about tomatoes, and the way they are supported by different structures, but also to speak from a European point of view. I have been Minister in Belgium during 4 years, at the period where the EU were really thinking for its future. What shall we do? We were, in '88, doing, with Jacques Delors, the Single Act. Maybe you don't remember. But the Single Act was the last real EU treaty before the one we are speaking now with Mrs. Merkel. And it means, at that time, we were trying to simplify all procedure to go quicker to the objective of the Treaty of Rome. And at that time, Gorbachev arrived, failure of USSR. And in the meantime, in '90, everything changed. Because not only we were not so let's say, so strictly focused on the Single Act implementation, but we discovered the Polish, the Lithuanian, nobody remembers even the name of the capital of these areas, the Hungarian. Okay, it was this new view of Europe. And from that, quite soon, we have had the Balkan War. So the Balkan War was a really difficult decision for the Europeans, because it was for the first time after the Second World War to take again in the parliaments of all European countries a decision to go to war. And we have taken it against Milosevic because it was really a good objective. Dayton Agreement was an accomplishment of US, we cannot say of UN, and of US, but without a solution for Kosovo. And then, due to that, Kosovo came immediately after as the next topics, and we focused on that. We forget about, during the same years, we forget about Caucasus. But the war in Caucasus was already going on. Azerbaijan, Baku was destroyed by the Russian army. Armenia was becoming one of the big allies of Moscow, and still now. And this part of the picture, we never say this will be Europe. But they were living the same sort of situation as the Balkan, but without, let's say, in a complete indifference of the Europe. So we have to keep all this in mind, and especially also from a point of view of the continental European, that we are at a very interesting moment. 3 facts. The first one is, of course, the second mandate of Mr. Obama. So what does it mean? He recognized the defeat. Fine. It is defeat. Afghanistan is a mess. The Taliban will come. They will, okay, Chantilly, you know, the French are trying to find good Taliban, they invite them, okay. Anyway, it is a defeat. I don't speak about Iraq. Those of you who know the real situation in Iraq, okay. So, this is part of the second mandate. He can do a lot of things, but he has to look carefully what he is doing. And he is the sort of man that will look carefully. So, Mr. Kerry and Mr. Hagan are 2 men at the right place at the right moment. We will see, but this is a positive future with people who has the ability to have the eye open at the right moment. The European situation with Mr. Cameron's speech. I know it's not the place to say that, but let me really insist on it. It is not at all a joke, and for us it is not. So maybe in a diplomatic circle, we should take some precaution in the way we are speaking. But de facto, politically speaking, it is not fair what he has done. And the feeling of the continental European is that it is not fair, and we will not play in that game. This means that the third aspect is now we have rebuilt Eurozone strongly. And there could be some city attitude, maybe some Wall Street attitude. Eurozone is now strictly rebuilt. And with a view of an industrial policy, I say that for, okay, some of the old sector are not to be held, but some of the strategical sector has to be held in Europe. So this is Eurozone, and the new treaty is a very important German-French proposal. And we, as Belgium, we will follow, of course. But not only, I think, most of this country concerned in terms of money will do it with a view of controlling the land also. We will see how far we can be able to go. Is this three aspects? New mandate for Mr. Obama, with two new men at the right place. Mistake of UK, that's my view, we can debate about that, but it's a view shared in a lot of European capital. And the new, strong European Union, after all hesitation of Mrs. Merkel, but now we are on the right track. So, I'm not a military expert, I will not speak about military aspect of reshaping the West, but of course, the French army is just publishing now a report saying that, can we win a war? No. It means a lot of hesitation inside the army debate on how to be efficient now with an army. And, well, not only Afghanistan is showing that, but Libya, but of course Syria, because we are going in a very interesting situation in Syria. And then also what's happened in Mali. The army will have to have an inside look of their own efficiency. So, three facts, and then movements. Nationalism and regionalism. With an inevitable racist feeling. That's part of the reality of Europe today. What we can say as Europeans is that we feel that we have also one characteristic. It's the importance of women's rights. Not only human rights. And especially when you are French, it's very difficult because in French you have to say droit de l'homme, but also droit de la femme. But okay, human rights, but especially inside women's rights. Because if you don't take care, then you are going to a violent society. And when you see the demonstration, when you have a society who produce only men demonstration, you can be sure that there is no human rights there, and there is violence profoundly in the society. So the damage created by religions, who are not everywhere, but in a lot of countries now, playing in the political sphere, and are used as political tools, are also part of one of the big moves that we see. Maybe is it a result of this failure of USSR? But anyway, we have it on the table now. And of course, like regionalism or nationalism, religion are creating borders that are not state borders, of course, that are different. And then I will say the importance of energy is also for us as European one of the big moves. Think about Europe without UK, and maybe some ally of UK, I don't know if there is. Think about this Europe, and take 10 or 20 years, and you will see what is the feeling about energy in that area. Will be a pro-Russian continental Europe. That's why reshaping the West means a lot now, due to that too. We have, in fact, to fight contradictory moves. I have spoken about nationalist movement. They are contradictory to globalization, of course. They want completely the reverse of globalization. But their victories of this nationalist movement are evident in Europe, but also outside. The structure of a lot of states has to adapt to be able to keep modern state at the core of the decision, which means the security decision. Regional things can be, of course, little things to be managed at this level, but not security and not the choice of the defense.